Hi, time for the edition of Simply Stated. The last one's a bit heavier, so I'll make this one a little bit lighter for you as I walk along outside here. But this one, I just want to go through the concept again from the thought project you knew on cleanliness and dirtiness. And what I mean by that is, growing up and throughout my life, I've always held down people that were too junky. And at the same time, struggled with my own issues of what to keep and throw away, especially because those were times where I was poor. And I really just didn't want to have to be that worried about it. And economics, literally money. I mean, like, I was the person who tried to make a tube of toothpaste go on forever. Didn't even understand the shapes of objects, attracted or detracted radio signals properly, or what you want in your life. People call it euphemistically attracting what you want into your life. What it's really about is that we live in a technology-based world, and everything, especially in computer networking, ties to materials. So metals, plastics, steel, copper, alloys. Um, and, even for example, for just so you know, like the CDC standard on keeping your nails short and clean is actually for cleanliness and actually for keeping yourself from getting sick, because longer nails pick up dirt and gross stuff. Like if you're a nurse or a home health aide or a nurse aide. I worked as a home health aide for 5 years. But the big thing about all of this is that, if you notice now, the new thing with the Russian mafia, because they're doing signals tracking with their nails in some cases, the women are, and some of the men who dress up as women, whatever, because they have a really, really long nails with the metal pieces on them, which you see on like J-Lo, because she's part of the KGB. And so she's using that nail practice with the ceramics and metals and like plastic on her nails to actually literally send information back and forth, which is crazy. It's also really dirty. Hence the old term dirty criminal, right? Because a lot of them engage in practices that are actually dirty. And that's actually part of the issues with the old KGB, now called the FSB, and also the Chinese CCP. China and Russia being countries that are actually fairly dirty and heavy polluters too. I'm not going to get environmentalism with you, because frankly what I'm talking about is the practice of keeping and throwing things out. There are practitioners and people who specialize in this. As you know, some people keep extremely neat homes, don't bother to keep a thing. Other people do more like what I do, where they just try to get rid of things that are no longer clean or hygienic or just old and beat up. And then there's also the reality that so often we all just try to hold on to what we really like as long as we can use it for ourselves. And that's great. But there's that overwhelming reality, when you look at what we dealt with the Russian culture and the KGB and the FSB, that there's a lot of anger and violence there. And I don't know how much any of it will ever totally be resolved, because I don't know what you do with two countries that are full of millions of people that have been raised the wrong way and are obsessed with dirtiness because they want to run signals in some old-fashioned way. I mean, cops, for example, can be very suspicious of junkyards, for example, because your table or your chairs or whatever, the way they're put together, can be used to run information. You have to be really careful what you keep in your home. I know for myself, I've started getting into that practice of like, literally, like when one thing new comes into my home or space wherever I'm living, it's like something else has to go out. It's just how it is. It's hard. It's really hard, but it's the only way to sort of manage the modern phenomena of radio signals and the Russian mafia, the presence of different gangs in the U.S. that are related to the CCP and the Russian mafia, and what's going on currently even in the U.S. military. By the way, like almost 2 weeks ago, a major U.S. military leader came out and said it would not be appropriate for anyone from Russia, China, or even the U.S. military to get angry and try to blow up a satellite right now, or any other nuclear weapons, because there is an overwhelming issue with people in the U.S. military being part of the Russian mafia themselves in the old KGB and not wanting to respond or respect, everyone else's rights. Like there's all these other countries involved, and you have to be worried at least that somebody would be, you like go St. Louis, Kansas City Mafia, and want to blow up a weapon. It's just ridiculous. But that's kind of a reality. And so this is where I come in and do a little short reminder on cleanliness and watching your objects and shapes. It's really simple. It's like if you go to a store and you come back with a certain shape of bottle and all of a sudden you get what you call like a bad vibe in your home, a bad energy, it's not something you're going to stage out. Trust me. You actually need to throw out the object. If it's that bottle shape, that's a shape of bottle, doesn't work for you. That's how it works. It's because of technology, and Wi-Fi, and all that jazzy stuff. Anyway, so that was this episode of Simply Said. I'm enjoying the sunshine today, being warm, wearing my sunglasses. So hope you're all doing well.